everyone. It's an honor to be here. And I'm here today to talk about dreams. I'm Bel Pesce. I'm an entrepreneur and writer from Brazil. I guess the Latin Americans are rocking the stage today. And the first thing I want to talk to you about is how not to follow your dreams. I imagine you're very happy that you woke up early to learn about how not to follow your dreams. And when we think about the dreams we have and the dent we want to leave in the universe, it's striking to see how big of an intersection there is between projects that never happen and our dreams. These intersections shouldn't exist. It's our dreams, after all. But I'll tell you 5 ways in which you can destroy your dreams. And it's very easy. If you follow any of the 5, you already destroy all your dreams. So it's very effective. First one, believe in overnight success. You know the story. Some young guy built an app and sold it for $50 million very fast. The story may seem true, but if you look a little deeper, you for sure understand that the guy did 300 apps before, maybe did a master's and a PhD on the theme. He's been working on the topic for like 30 years, but they only look at the success part, so then it was overnight. There's a phrase from Warren Buffett, founder of Walmart, that I like it a lot. Like most overnight success stories, mine was about 20 years in the making. It's always like this. I myself have a story that in Brazil people think is an overnight success story. Since I was a kid, my dream was to be an engineer and work as a computer scientist, and I put in my mind that I wanted to go to MIT. But I come from a very humble family, and I went to a small school first, and when I learned that I could really apply for MIT, it was too late. I had missed the deadline to apply. And the process is kind of long to apply to colleges in the US. And there were 2 components that I had missed the deadline for. One was to talk to an interviewer who had been to MIT and now lives in Brazil. There was no way I could talk to anyone anymore because they wouldn't give me the addresses. And 2, there was a problem with the SATs, because to apply for the SATs, you need to apply in advance because it comes counted to Brazil. So if 50 people apply, there's 50 exams. But I said I can't give up. So 2 weeks before the final deadline, I tried to find a way to figure out these 2 places. And I got the address of one of the interviewers through a different student who applied. And I knocked on his door, and I convinced him to interview me after the deadline. I had a big box in my hand, and he asked, "Why? What is that? What is that box for?" And I said, "You know, I want to show you what I'm going to use the MIT education for. I'm going to try to use the MIT education to make Brazil a better place, to make the world a better place." And I brought everything I had done in my life to show you what I want to do with it. Well, he interviewed me after the deadline. And the second part, I figured out I was very lucky because I had missed the deadline to apply for the SATs, but I had not missed the day of the exam. So I said, you know what, I'm going to show up. Maybe someone doesn't go there. So I did show up, but I was escorted out because my name was not on the list. But I begged to wait there and see, at least see with my own eyes, that I would try my best. And so I came back in. The woman said, "Okay, but as soon as you see that everyone is here, please leave because there's no exam for you." And I stayed there, and people were coming in, but then there was one place that was missing. One person didn't go. Like, I would love to know who is that person. I'll send them to Disney World or something, but they won't tell me who is that person. But long story short, in 2 weeks, I got into MIT. But people think that it's like that. Thank you. They think that those 2 weeks were the overnight success story, but it's not. Those 2 weeks only worked out because for 17 years before I took education and life seriously. I wouldn't have gone well in the exam if there wasn't for that. That box wouldn't be full of stuff, right? So your overnight success story is always everything you've done to your life up to that moment. People should understand that. Second tip. Believe someone else has the answers from you. You know, everyone wants to help out. Our parents, friends, people in the same market as you are, potential partners. And they may know the market better than you, and they may say, you know, there's so many decisions to take. Go through that pipe. Go through that pipe. That's the right way to do it. And you may follow that step, and you go through that pipe. But when you go inside, there's so many other pipes. If you want to do things the way you believe are the right way to do it, you need to bump your heads into the pipe yourselves. And there's more pipes. There's always more pipes. If you want to get to somewhere you really care for, you need to make these decisions yourself. No one has the answers for you. And not even yourself does, but at least you feel it in your heart and mind. So don't believe that someone else has the perfect answers for your life. They won't have it. Third one, and I really like it because it's really subtle. Let's say things are going great. Your business is growing, and now you have a fantastic team who is working hard for you. Your revenues every year are better. Time to settle down. Ah, great. No, no time to settle down. Actually, when you're seeing a peak, it's time to find yourself another peak. I have a story like that. I'm a writer. I have 3 books published in Brazil about entrepreneurship and following your dreams. And the very first book I've written, I wasn't known as a writer. I did computer science at MIT. So I decided to launch it as a free book in Portuguese, online. I was living in Silicon Valley back then, and I wanted to bring some lessons from Silicon Valley to Brazil. And I worked a lot on social media, and I got 3 million downloads. The book was called The Girl from Silicon Valley. I just wrote a sequence 2 months ago, and for sure it would go somewhere, even if I did nothing, because of the success of the first one. If I again did it for free online, at least a couple 100,000 people would download it. And that would be okay. But okay is never okay. When you see a peak, work harder than ever and find yourself another peak. There is no time to settle. Fourth one, and I really like this one. Put the blame on someone else. This is a great way to destroy your dreams. I constantly see people complaining about things, right? I have this great idea, but no investor wants to invest. Oh, I had this perfect product on the market, but no one wants to buy it. And then they say, it's all the blame on someone else. Sure, it may be that the market is bad, or it may be that no one else wants to invest now, but for sure, if that's what's happening, there is some blame of you in there, right? If you get used to putting the blame on the other people, you always do it. You can't. If you want to have your dreams come true, and some things are not working, you need to change your approach, change your position, but make it work it yourself. You need to be responsible to your dreams. Otherwise, they won't happen. The responsibility is yours. Then a final one, and I really like this one as well. Believe that the only things that matter are the dreams themselves. Once there was an ad on television in Brazil, this was decades ago. It was a team of people, they were going up the mountains, and it was really tough to go up that mountain, and they wanted to reach a peak. So you could see that they were working hard, they were sweating, and it was tiring, and they finally reached the peak. It was like 3 or 4 friends. And they looked at each other, and they started celebrating, and they said, yes, we've made it, we're at the top. And then 2 seconds later, they look at each other again and say, okay, let's go down. Life is not just about the goals. Life is about the journey. People think that they're going to find the goal, and when they do, oh my God, happiness is going to be all around, and that's the miracle. But the truth is, achieving a goal is a momentary sensation, and your life is not. So the best way to achieve your dream is to truly enjoy every step of the journey. And these steps may be right, may be wrong, but if you make every right step a celebration, and every wrong step that you trip a learning, then you'll really enjoy your journey, because you're going to transform your steps into celebrations and learnings. And then it's going to be much easier to follow your dreams. This content that I just showed you is an example of a class we have in my school. I'm the owner of Fase Nova, and it's a very different school. It's a school for all ages in Brazil that helps people achieve their dreams. The whole curriculum is building around semesters, and each semester, each one of the people achieve one of their dreams. But how do we do it? First of all, we create content that is very honest, very direct to the point, very practical, and we have a structure to launch projects. So most of our content is around either behavioral skills or specific tools to make things happen. Because at least for me, the things that helped me the most achieve my dreams were having leadership, being self-aware, being able to build relationships that in the end, everyone wins with them. And for some reason, schools never teach those to us. And for me, they were the most valuable assets I had. So we put that together with tools that help people really understand how they can accelerate when they are doing well in their minds. And then we have a fully structured launch projects. I'll give you an example. Let's say your dream is to write a book. If you go there and work really hard, because for us, the important thing is to work really hard. The only filter we have, you can't be lazy to work at Fase Nova. And we really like that book. We have a way to launch that through publishers in Brazil. Same thing with the music industry, same thing with restaurants, same thing with mobile apps. If I learned something in the past 2 years doing Fase Nova, was that there's one thing that is more important than content, and this is how you make people feel. The magic happens when people feel like they can do stuff, and minor things happen in that way. Because when you do that, you build trust. And through the exercises we have, both online and offline, we can map the behavioral skills of people. So we can know how well they are at giving feedback to people. We can know how good they are at being self-aware and knowing where they can be better at. So we have a mapping of their behavioral skills and their dreams. And this is really interesting. We know the dreams they have, how they trip or how they celebrate, because we map their steps. We know their behavioral skills and what they lack. And then we put them together with connections, tools, and people who can make those lacking parts be fulfilled. I launched the online part 1 year ago. We now have 70,000 students. I'm so happy about this. It's fully bootstrapped. We don't have investors, and we haven't spent a single dollar in marketing. It was all word of mouth from students of all ages that really liked our content. And now the big dream is to make it global. Here is just a screenshot from our site. It's in Portuguese. You can pick the dreams you have, and then for each dream, there's a bunch of different curated content, the best of the web, and also the best from people that we found that were very good at making those dreams come true. And even our courses are different. It's all 1 to 2 minute pieces of content, and in between them, exercises that right away show that you've learned. And this is really interesting to get people more motivated to keep on going. We have points and other things as well. But we talk about dreams here, and I want to share with you my dream. Over the past 2 years, with the books and with Fase Nova, over 5 million people in Brazil interacted with this type of content. But my big dream is that we can take Fase Nova globally, and that at least 1 billion people all over the world can take at least one step towards one of their dreams using the type of content we create and curate. And we know it's a long journey, but I have everything that we believe is possible to make it happen. And we can wait. We can wait 50 years, 100 years, we don't mind. We just want to make sure this happens. We have a fantastic team, and I appreciate so much that you're here to listen to our story. Thank you. Thank you.